Today's episode was gonna be about the stock market, baby.
Bruh, did you pour my milk? Don't do that. What's that?
I'm kind of a big deal.
You don't got the credentials.
Well, that's disrespectful.
What up? What's up? What's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of the Don't Pour My Milk podcast, baby. And
What's
I
up?
feel like this is gonna be a real good one today, boy.
You feel it, cat? You feel it, cat?
Woo! Today's episode was gonna be about the stock market, baby.
Yes, sir.
But let's introduce myself. He called me Mr. Knockout Fantasy Football, and I got my dude to the side.
It's your boy O. You already know. Just follow me down there.
Woo! And I know y'all see it already. We got a special guest today. A special, because we're going to get into some stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
This guy looks smart, bro. He looks smart. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Okay.
So you go ahead and take it right over.
Yo, it's your boy OJ, aka Let's Pretend I Know Football, aka Oh So Smooth. Let's get it. Let's get it.
You felt that, though, cat?
I did.
He said
Let's get it.
his full chest.
I feel like
I
he's
want
ready.
the smoke.
It only takes a careless moment to turn this into this. Don't let forest fires be your fault. Make sure your fire is dead out.
Remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
I feel like he's ready. He
want
wants
the
that
smoke.
He
Let's
just
talk
said
about
it.
it.
Oh,
Hi,
man.
Smokey. I
Yo,
see you.
let's
I
talk
see you over
about
there,
it.
Smokey.
We're about
talk
to
about
get in it. But even before I see him get it, I like that sweater you got on, bro.
You like this drink?
I like it, bro.
I like it too.
Yo, the two-tone color? What the hell do you stand for, though?
So I was blessed to be in the presence of Lincoln University, LU, you know, for their homecoming. You know what I'm saying? I supported, you know, the HBCUs. And I think that is something that we should do as a community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Highlight the HBCUs. They got a lot to offer. And there's a lot of ways we can help. So I'm going to put a link right here. And support your, you know, your HBCUs, man.
Shout out to HBCU. Shout
Yes,
out to
sir.
Lincoln
They showed me
University,
love down
baby.
there, bro.
Word?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we got to get into it another time too, man. But we're going to get back into our guests right now. First question we ask every guest that come on the show.
Yo.
How do you pour your milk?
So I like a lot of milk. Like
Yo,
I like a
yo.
lot of milk, bro.
A lot. Yo, there's no.
I like
there-
to drink
there-
it. I like to put a lot of I like to put a lot of milk in my cereal.
You gargle it?
You like leftovers?
Leftover cereal?
Milk.
I like leftover milk. I look forward to leftover milk.
Yo, there's not that many splashes out there, bro. I told
Yo,
you.
it's all good.
Like crunch. Nah, I kind of like a little soggy too. It's weird.
There we go. Let's talk about it, man.
Even if I'm one in a kind, it's all good. It doesn't matter to me. But you like your milk in a particular way. You like the
Particular
soggy.
way.
How does that equate to how you run your fantasy team?
I don't think it necessarily equates, but it just tells. I just do my own thing. Like I like what I like. You know, I just like what I like. So when
Okay. That's
So here's how it does equate to fantasy, bruv. You know, the milk, the splashers, to me, they don't like to do too much. Right? They like the cereal is the players. They don't like to do too much. The milk pourers, the people that love a lot of milk, love to do a lot of transactions, love to do a lot. And we like our milk to spilleth over. You know what I'm saying? So you might not even realize that's the reason why you like a lot of milk, bro.
you think so?
100, son, I like it soggy too, bro. I've been saying that joint, you know what I'm saying? And we move very similar
Yo,
in our league.
I give
That
you
is
that.
true.
That's true.
You ever seen that you ever seen that Spider-Man like
That man's an imposter. That man is the imposter.
There can't be two Spider-Men.
Oh yeah, with the 3 mirrors. Yeah.
So but we're gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard you intro yourself with your full chest. So say it with your chest. This is gonna be like a little therapy session. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a little therapy session. You know what I mean, we're gonna get it out on the table. Good talk.
So yo, lots has been said. This is league business right now.
Leg business.
Straight to the business.
Leg business.
Straight to business.
So
All right.
lots has been said about you, bro.
I heard.
I need you to surmise for me, like your take on the league. And
I
piece.
have a question before we get there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because this might help us understand him.
Okay.
So I have a question for you, OJ. For how long have you been pretending you like football? Because it's a question I want to know. Like, how long have you been pretending to know football?
Since I want to say my second year in the league.
See, he didn't even peep what I just did just there. You know what I'm saying? That's like if somebody asks you, like, bro, do you still beat your wife?
Was that set up or something? I missed the punch?
Yeah, like, do you still beat your wife? Yes or no? Exactly. So you've been pretending to know football since the beginning. Yeah, okay.
I've been pretending for.
You still don't get it, bro.
Of course, I get it.
I'll mess with you. All right. So ask this question. I just want to get that out there.
Go ahead. I just surmise who you are in the league, right? I just want to get your take on some of the things that have been said. Like, there was a humble commentary. You've been thin.
He been touched.
You came on that episode.
Don't forget about Nalinga.
So many things to talk about.
People been talking.
Talk
you
about
got
it,
humble,
bruv.
get touched, and Nalinga. This is your time to shine, baby.
Talk about it.
The
man.
humble thing I never really understood.
Talk about it. It's just us, bro. It's just
So
us.
Dave, right? Dave is literally the only person who tells me to be humble. And somebody telling me to be humble, right? Gotta at least have some pride,
Pump fake.
right?
So you saying Dave don't got no pride?
Dave don't got no pride, bro.
Ooh.
I don't think, cause like if we talking about like fantasy, if we keeping this in the fantasy world, right?
Because he said he was like you, like his little brother, though.
Can you imagine?
Whoa. Whoa.
Like
Whoa. It's a lot of heat.
Damn, son. Okay. So you took umbrage to the humble pie.
I didn't like it.
Okay, so then what is it that you didn't like about it? Like, just speak to that.
I didn't like that he said I should be humble in a league where like everybody's equal. Because in fantasy, like 14 of us, we're literally on the same level.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to tell me to be humble, you mean you want me to go under that level? For who? I'm not the only one who does transactions.
Okay.
I'm the only one who probably call people out. But to be humble from Dave, doesn't make sense. He don't got the credentials to tell me to be humble.
Oof. So Kobe, he don't got the credentials.
He don't got the. He had 1 year.
Dave.
He had 1 year when he was in the finals, bro. Other than that, what?
So
have
if you don't,
done?
so what you're basically saying is that if you don't got the hardware, he don't have the credentials to talk to you.
He don't. Especially in fantasy. If you're talking fantasy, like in the league, why? Not. And he put the gift with the apple. That thing gets me upset.
The humble pie, you don't like the
The humble pie, I don't like that. Every time I see that joke, I get upset, bro.
So you talked about you also being the butt of the joke of being touched. Tell us about that. Like,
let's break it all down, bro. Let's break it all down.
Like, as you watching the podcast and you hearing this stuff come to you, like, how are you feeling? How are you taking this stuff on your end?
So me, like, I see it that like, for some reason, when it comes to like me, it's always a problem. Like when it comes to me saying something, it's always a problem. Like y'all can look at everything I've said, but y'all can never point out a lie in anything I've said. It may come off spicy, but it will never come off false.
I see a hand being raised.
should I be objective or should I be an
I
analyst?
mean, I said that you can't. So if you could tell me something which I lied about, then
No, I want you to look. This is a safe place.
Yeah.
So I want everybody to feel safe. I want you to talk your truth. I always tell people you gotta speak to your truth. So I'm not gonna interject at this junction because I want you to be able to feel free as a guest to speak your truth. So continue.
Yep. So how you feel about being touched?
How you feel about
Yeah.
being touched? Do you feel it was directed towards you? Do you feel, because me and you have had private conversations and we talked about the why, and
yo, that
we can talk about it on the show what the why is.
we could talk about the private conversation.
We're not gonna talk about the
We're
whole
not gonna-
private conversation.
okay.
We don't do that.
All right.
But we can talk to the.
Give us
You
insight.
you are free to talk about whatever you feel comfortable
Yeah.
talking about right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, I got vetoed a couple times this year,
Yeah. It's
Right.
fun too.
and I got vetoed not because of anything else, but because I call people out.
Okay.
I get under people's feelings, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue with being touched that many times,
You get touched a lot.
I got touched a lot. I got touched a lot. This
Is that why you're
This
here in
season.
therapy?
Yo, I'm here for therapy. I'm here to talk about how I felt after being touched so many times.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Are
I
you
don't.
here to- go ahead.
I don't mind the politics.
Mm.
Politics is part of the game.
Yep.
But when it's only politics, that's when it becomes a problem.
What's the problem with being only politics?
The problem when it's only politics is now you're not playing with the intent to win. You're playing with the intent to spite.
So just for everybody to remember, being touched is being in a league where the other managers have veto power, right? So let's pretend he knows football, has been touched numerous times this season. So he's speaking to why he got touched.
Been groped.
Bruh. Inappropriately too, bro. Without
been fondled a
without
few
my
times.
consent.
Yeah.
Without my consent.
So your issue is the why.
It's the why.
Okay.
It's the why. Like,
Okay.
like if you make a fair trade, fine. Some people not gonna like it. That's cool. But if you're touching it because you don't like me personally, that's whack.
That's why. Okay, so let me step in here, guys. As a politician myself, right? No permanent friend, no permanent enemy, only permanent.
Interest.
Thank you. See,
I got
finally,
you.
But that's
I
not
got you.
true though.
permanent interest.
That's not true.
Okay, can I?
sorry.
We're in a show.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry, bro.
conversation goes both ways.
I'm sorry, bro.
You talk, I talk. That's how it works.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So, the permanent interest, right, should be always to win,
Yep.
right? Hate is the why, right? It not being fair is the why that I talk about. The why doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the fact of the matter that something got touched. And the permanent interest is, maybe it's to hate on somebody. Maybe it's for that person to feel it or for him to want to eat some humble pie. Or maybe it's just like, I see how strong this guy's team is getting.
Yep.
And it's going to affect me down the line. So it's going to get touched. That's the interest. So you have a problem with the why.
I have a problem with the why.
And I'll tell you, the why is very finicky. Why? Because it's sometimes a vowel and sometimes not. So you can't depend on the why. The why can be this today and this tomorrow. But the fact is, touch.
'Tis true.
That's the only thing that doesn't change. So the why affects you, but why does that affect you?
It affects me because like I said, like this in this fantasy world, right? Everybody is equal.
Everybody's equal, 100%.
Right?
100%.
But in our league, I'm not gonna name any names.
No. You gotta say. You see the part
But
about
there's some
owning your
cheerleaders
truth-
in our league.
Oh, so there's okay. So who do you feel is not equal, and who are the cheerleaders? Call them out.
Yeah, you know what
Your
I mean?
neighbors
We
came
it
on the
kinda
show.
messy, you know
That's
what
why
I mean?
you here. Call them out.
We like the openness and transparency.
All right, so perfect example, right? Perfect example of like how the league isn't fair, right? Based on politics,
Yep.
is the guy to my right,
Woo.
Osahan,
Woo.
right?
Oh, I'm getting called out.
Yo, what?
Woo.
Let's
Every
talk about
year,
it,
bro.
Okay.
Every year
I like this.
he gets away with a suspect trade. Why? Why does he get away with suspect trade?
Why
He got
is-
fans.
I got fans.
He got fans.
How does that work?
Yo, perfect example.
How does fans work?
Perfect example.
I'm popular.
Oh,
I guess, I don't know.
will make a trade, right?
Give me an example.
Just right off the top of my head, I can't think of the trades right now. But like, O will make a trade, right? Everybody will know that O is getting the better deal of the trade. And in the chat, somebody will say, "Oh, if the manager die, he die." What?
If he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies. But when it comes to me, let's veto it. But when O trade, if he dies, he die. And it be the same people telling me to have a humble pie, Dave. It be the same person that telling me, be humble, that will say he's not gonna say anything about your trade. That's bro. That's a fan.
You saying that's not fair?
Trades are deep in our league. Trades
That's
are
a
deep.
fan, bro.
So can I rebuttal since I was basically called out for being popular?
Yep.
Being popular. You see what I'm saying, bro?
You basically said I'm popular, bro.
Bro.
Like that I got friends, man. Look, I cannot
fan, like a fan.
You call them fans, I call them a different F word. They're friends. You see what I'm saying? This is my thing,
This is how you
right?
butter them up.
This is the thing,
This is
though.
how you don't get vetoed.
This is when we have our personal conversations and when we have our general conversations,
Yeah.
when we have our conversations that everybody can see. I think the most thing that I am is being consistent in telling you there are ways to move in this world. when you are like gun hold on being the smartest one in the room. That's why I said, shout out to the glasses. You look smart today. Sometimes, right, things get under your nose. I happen to understand the way of the world. Now, as you get older, as you grow, you be like, all right, I decided to move this way. You cannot fault me for being able to move the way I move just because you haven't been able to adopt that. You could try and shadow clone jutsu. It don't mean it's gonna be the authentic me. You know what I'm saying? So you can't now call somebody out and then wonder why you can't move the way I move.
But who's all the fans? I mean, I'm interested.
Call
to
them
know.
out. Speak your truth.
Who's all the fans? So we can all know.
Oof. I already look. Feel free, nigga. You called me out already. I'm here. You called Dave out. Who else is a fan, aka a friend? Come to the show, friends.
You see that right there? That's the politics.
That's the way of the world, family.
That's the politics.
That's the way of the world.
That's the politics. But you know, I get it. I get it.
I like the politic, bro.
I get it. I get it. My issue is when fellow men don't realize that they're being mocked.
Mocked.
Yeah, I don't get that.
What?
Any questions? No. Not for me. Yes?
Yes? I don't get it.
You have
Say it with your full chest, bro.
all right. So when it comes to like certain trades, right, or certain moves, like when they go through, or if they don't go through, they get mocked. Like managers get mocked all the time. You know, I don't have the archives. I'm not like Tank from the Matrix. I don't have the archives in front of me right now. But O is notorious for mocking people.
No, notorious. Who's mocking?
Yo,
Whoever I mocked.
you mock somebody the one who I could think of right now, it was like, was it not last season with like Freeway? What trade was it?
Oh, the Tyreek Hill.
God, something.
No.
Was it the Tyreek Hill trade?
No. Only reason why I mocked Freeway, right, is not because I mocked. I would
why,
never.
The why doesn't matter until it matters.
No. It does matter in this case because you're asking an opinion is different. When you ask an opinion, the why matters. Now when you're asking about facts, because you're talking about opinion, right? So I'm going to give you my opinion, the why. When Freeway did a deal with me as a man does a deal with another man. After the trade went through, he now wanted to renege on the trade. And that's when I was like, oh, then I'm going to make fun of the person because we had a deal. Now all of a sudden the people that came out there with the blowhorn start mocking him. Now he has a change of heart. I'm like, bro, that's a 90s talk show. Change of heart.
Will he get out of her doghouse, or will they have a change of heart?
You can't have a change of heart with me, bro. You gave me the handshake, so now I'm gonna make fun of you. But other than that, all my trade partners and my friends, it's all love for life. So what are we talking about?
So Freeway's no longer a fan.
Is Freeway a fan?
Yo, ever since like what? I think last year was probably like the year in which Freeway actually didn't give O anything. Because other than that, like every year, there are two players.
I did a deal with Freeway last year, and I did a deal with Freeway this year.
But he didn't lose it. He didn't lose the trade.
See, that's the thing. Winning and losing is all perspective.
So
except when it's not.
You about to get there's two players that do what? What you
I said there are two players every year that O goes shopping on.
Mm-hmm.
Two players.
Who? I want to know.
Like Radcliffe, Mr. Kells,
Mr. Kells.
Every year,
cat best friend.
Every year.
Shout out to Mr. Kells. That's one of my best friends.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
bro?
not a mock.
You see what I'm saying?
That's one of my best friends.
What do to Mr. Kells every year?
Every year he takes something. He takes something from Mr. Kell and give him chin chin, bro.
Woo! Give him what?
Chin chin.
Chin chin.
You know what chin chin is?
Chin chin. No, tell me what chin chin is.
Like
chin chin is literally fried dough.
Fried dough. Hey,
just small pieces of fried dough.
But what do we call money? Dough. You see what I'm saying? So I'll give you that.
He don't even
I'll
hide
give you
it.
that fried skrilla. You see me?
You see what I'm saying? He don't even hide it.
So every year,
that's one of my best friends. What do you want me to say?
But see, and this is the thing when I'm talking about with fantasy. This is what I'm saying where it shouldn't be only politics. Like I don't know anybody in this league who probably has a closer relationship than you and I. Right? But I would never use the external factors to influence the internal factors of the league. It doesn't matter that I was homeless and you let me to your house outside, and just because of that, I shouldn't veto your trade.
Oh, really? That sucks. That's, I mean,
you know, like in this league.
I'm listening.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. I still don't get it.
Like in this league, like.
But that's not my ninjutsu. That's not my ninja way.
Okay.
My ninja way is no permanent friend, no permanent enemy, only permanent interest.
Yeah.
And once you subscribe to that,
so far
we can be friends.
You said Radcliffe. I don't want you to lose that train of thought. Who's the second player?
And Freeway, but Freeway, I think Freeway retired. I think Freeway broke up the he broke it up this year.
So if Freeway has stopped. So let me ask you, because we getting even further and further away from the stock exchange. Well, I'm good.
It's therapy.
It's therapy, bro. I got touched, bro.
It's a therapy session. So if Freeway has stopped, is Radcliffe still his friend this year?
I didn't use the word friend.
Mr. Kells this whole year.
That's his word.
Okay.
When you speak it to me, it's fan. When you speak it to him, it's friend.
So who's the fans in today's world? Is it just Mr. Kells?
So Freeway is not a fan anymore.
So Freeway's not a fan.
I don't think Freeway is a fan anymore because Freeway had like a moment of serendipity. We was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't give Osahan my best pieces anymore.
Okay. So let's get away from that, right? Freeway's done this year. Hasn't done anything. Mr. Kells.
Who else?
Mr.
You
Kells.
said Dave. Dave is never. Hold on.
Dave,
he called Dave my fan.
I know, but
he said Dave has been my fan, but Dave and I have never made any splashes.
So Dave never made a splash. So who are the fans? I want to know.
And what constitutes a fan if we haven't? Okay, so Freeway was a fan because he gave me trades. Dave was a fan and then never gave me a trade. Is kind of all over the place.
No.
Speak to it.
I said the fan. Like when I said the fan, right? I was a different statement from me saying that there are two people that you trade with every year.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
that's different.
Okay.
It just happened to be that the two people who you trade with every year are also fans. You know,
So then,
Freeway not so much.
What is the definition of a fan?
Okay,
Have
so
you-
let me
did you get
tell
that?
you.
Did you get that?
No, I'm trying to understand.
like,
Which is why
I'm
asking
trying
you.
to-
Yeah.
in the context of how I'm using it, right?
Yep.
Fan is like you don't match the energy. You don't match the energy with everybody else. Like you would get special treatment.
I get special treatment.
You absolutely get special
Can I ask you
treatment.
a very good question? I want you to be 100% honest with yourself.
I will.
And this is for all 10 of our viewers out there. You know what I'm saying?
What's
Yo,
up?
you seen that meme where the guy was like, yo, I'm getting something for my 12 viewers
Yep.
out there. Like, I'm getting something from the store. You want something?
To the 12 people always liking my post, y'all want anything from the gas station?
I'm going to the store. You want something real quick? Because they're my friends. But here's the situation. For all of those guys, let's pretend, right?
Yo.
I want you to be completely honest. Because you just made an emphatic statement.
Truthful. But continue.
Truthful, right? Let's see. In the history of the league, since you've been there, right? Since I've been getting all the favoritism, right? Who has been the number one person that has been vetoed?
You.
So I'm the number one person to get vetoed.
Context is very important.
What's the context?
Like frequency. Like the more trades you put out there, the more vetoes you're going to get. So someone who trades 2 times versus someone who trades 20 times, if the person who got traded, if the person who trades 2 times got vetoed twice, right? And the person who traded 20 times got vetoed 5 times, like just off the strength, you got vetoed more because you trade more.
Okay, I
You know?
have another question. Do I trade the most in the league? Honestly.
Now you're losing that title to L.
L has been no. If you're a student to the game, you see that L has been infamous for trading more than me. You see, the thing is, it's like
But it's
he
a
has
title that he just took, though. It's not something.
no,
that,
but it's been brewing over the last couple of years. I always trade. That's my no-jitsu. That's my ninja way. I trade. Right? L's been trading too, but he has a different reputation than I do, right? And that's the reason why he doesn't get vetoed. A lot of trades that I do that I offer people are fair trades, right? But people want to know, like, oh, what is it that O knows? I don't want to do that trade with O because somebody somehow is gonna say I'm stupid or I'm getting the short end of the stick. So my reputation of being a trade master, it kind of hurts me both ways. I'm on this show now, and this year I'm not making that many trades because people are saying, "Oh, I don't want to be on the show." So speak to it.
What you got to say about that?
So let's keep that in context, right? He literally said my reputation, right? So he has a reputation of making ridiculous trades. Right? Like you're not going to get vetoed if your trades aren't like suspect, right?
Okay.
Like, and if you're talking about the people and he gets vetoed from, who is it? It's usually Freeway and R. Kelly. Who is he getting vetoed from? He's not getting vetoed from you. He's not getting vetoed from me. He's not getting vetoed from
Castray got vetoed before.
But when you usually get vetoed, when you get vetoed, it's usually from the same people. You're not getting vetoed from, and that's what I'm saying.
Let me ask you a question. How many different managers did you get vetoed this year with? Because you got touched 3 times, right? And that's why we're talking about this, right? Isn't it quite ironic that you just got touched by the same manager for some it was just one manager, right? So what is the difference there than me getting vetoed with just 2 managers when you just got touched constantly by you and another manager?
Context, right? Let's keep to the context, right? So me getting vetoed this year, right? It didn't have anything to do with one side without debate winning the trade, right? I didn't get vetoed because I was clearly winning the trade, right? I got vetoed because there's a lot of politics involved.
Allegedly.
When you get vetoed, it's because it's a one-sided trade.
Allegedly. See, that's the thing.
Allegedly,
It's perspective.
he traded. Did you not trade Marlon Mack this year for who?
I don't remember.
Marlon Mack.
You see?
You had Marlon Mack.
You see?
I had Marlon Mack. Yeah.
You see? He traded him to R. Kelly. Wasn't that for Jarvis Landry or something like that? Who did you traded R. Kelly? You gave.
I had Jarvis Landry.
And mind you, the pipe dream was that if you get Marlon Mack right, he gonna get traded and he gonna play on another.
But that's
team.
what we're talking about on this show.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about that. And that's one. Let me just say this one thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing about knowing and understanding. I talk about it all the time. I understand people's behaviors, and I'm socially aware of situations, and that's to my advantage, right? I'm going to talk to you, right, and tell you how I feel. If you take it and you do a deal with me, it's always going to be buyers beware, right? It's always going to be buyers beware, right? It's not. I'm not trying to get off. I'm just trying to feed my family and stay true to my shareholders because that's my permanent interest. See, all you said today was your opinion, and I talked to you about being on one side of one figure and I'm on the other side of the figure. On your side, it says a 9, but on my side, it says a 6. Now we're looking at the same exact figure, but we both have 2 different perspectives, right? So you actually see a 9 and I actually see a 6. So you telling me that my trade is politics, and I'm saying, well, my trade got vetoed because it's hating on O. You like, no, because it's unfair. And then you say your trade got vetoed because it's politics, and I'm saying, no, it got traded because how you going to trade the same player back to the person you took from him and then get another player from him? That's unfair.
But
it's perspective.
In the chat, literally in the chat, like, when we spoke about when Chinny got upset, he got vetoed the 3rd time.
Yeah.
Right? Was it Uko or Dave or one of them? Uko or Dave? He was like, "Yo, what's going on?" And he was like, "Yo, Chimney, it's not you." What? Like, that's clearly politics, bro. That had nothing to do with the trade being unfair. It literally like, yo, he said it's not you. You're getting vetoed not because of you. They never say you're getting vetoed because the deal is bad. You didn't say you're getting vetoed because of this. They say you're getting vetoed because of me.
But
that's politics.
But Cat,
that's not a matter of opinion.
But Cat, I don't want to belabor the point, but some managers also said, this is why I said perspective is very key in every situation. Some managers also said, for them, it wasn't about you. It was about Chimney. So you can't lose.
To my point, still politics.
And to your point, the why doesn't matter. If I get vetoed because it's hate and you get vetoed because it's politics, at the end of the day, we both got vetoed.
And that's when it becomes a problem.
The problem for me
becomes a problem in the league.
The problem for me is that
it's not healthy.
The healthy part about it, right, is that we cannot preach about things not being fair, right? And we do the same exact thing. It sounds hypocritical. You get what I'm saying? So if you secretly getting people to veto and you secretly vetoing, and then you come on the chat talking about, yo, why did they veto me? It's like, who are you talking to? Because I did talk about stripes before, and I was talking directly about you. Do you remember that? See, that's why I want
the stripes. The past episode. Everything's about perspective.
It's all about perspective, bro.
We go through it, and I'm glad you got to get some stuff off your chest, right? Your last question before in league business, because I want you to talk about that, right? We started the podcast.
Yeah.
How has the podcast affected you?
I think he said it already.
No. I mean,
I think he talked about it.
Not in this whole like kind of like being told humble, just in regards to like what we do and don't pour my milk, right? Watching like how we give out stats, watching like our insight, our projections, and then going through like the day-to-day stuff that we do talk about, bringing on guests from the league. How do you feel like it's affected you in that particular manner?
1 second though, I'll tell you something. I didn't get to say this on the last thing. I remember, if you watched the last episode, I agree with him what he said, where he says, if a next man tells me to be humble, I'm gonna take it a type of way.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, who you to tell me to be humble?
In the league of equals.
In the league of equals. But
I remember.
I also said in the same thing, based on my perspective, that there is some truth to being humble sometimes, because you have to know when to humble thyself to get what the ultimate goal is. But I think speak to your truth, bro. How do you feel about the league You know
How do you feel
what
about the podcast? How do you feel about the
How you feel
podcast?
about
in
it?
general, the setup that we
like-
got going on right now. What's going on with you?
I like the podcast, because like it definitely gives me like a little more insight about players that I normally wouldn't look at. Especially, I think this year is like the first year as a full PPR.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it kind of changed. It kind of changed how I like look at the waiver wire. It kind of changes how I look at my team or how I want to reconstruct my team. So looking at this podcast, like certain players, like there was a player you mentioned that I ended up like picking up. I forgot his name. I probably dropped him, but like there's a player.
Was it Marilyn Mack, right?
No, it wasn't Mac. It wasn't Mac, but there's definitely. I think it's definitely like it's definitely a boost.
Right.
I think it definitely get like a fantasy boost to like you learn more. Like I can't watch the podcast and say that I didn't learn more or remain the same.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I definitely
appreciate that.
Exactly what
So
I'm doing
you
it for.
like the podcast?
Yeah, I like the podcast.
Yeah,
I like
I
the
think it's
podcast.
exactly what we're doing it for.
Yeah.
Bringing people on, getting stuff, and inviting everyone to the league. I think you can see, from my perspective,
Yeah.
I see that everyone is well invested, right? Including yourself. That's what I get from
100%.
everyone coming
For
on.
sure.
You
From
can't-
Ryan, from Dave, from yourself, whoever else we're going to have.
Dwayne.
ALD.
Dwayne was on.
What was your nickname for them? We talked about in pre-show?
He's retired, but is no shame Dwayne.
Oh, no shame Dwayne. No shame Dwayne. ALD.
Don't bring that up.
ALD.
He called well no shame. Yeah, Dwayne don't like that. Dwayne don't like that.
But at the time he earned it, but we're not going to talk about it.
I like the fact that we're able to invite folks into the league, talk about things, even talk about perspective. This might help someone else in another league that's going through a similar thing with a different manager and understanding. Like, yo, you know who you are? You OJ. You know who you are? You O. Follow me down below. That's what they're going to say.
And there got to be at least somebody pretending they know football. in
Yeah,
that league
you know
too.
what I mean? So I think that's dope. But because of your expertise with the stock, that was the choice of going with what we're going to talk about: stock up, stocks down.
Yes,
And
sir.
we're going to use a lot of different
Let's talk about
terminology
it.
that I want you to explain
talk
to the
about it.
team out there in regards to what we're talking about with players, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get it.
So listen, first player that I chose to talk about, I know he's near and dear to your heart. Do you buy the rumor or sell the news on Odell Beckham Jr., bro?
I'm a sell OBJ.
You selling on
I'm
OBJ?
gonna sell OBJ, bro.
You selling the news?
I'm selling the news. I can't imagine me paying for. I can't pay for it this season. Like I wouldn't buy OBJ off the strength that one, he still has that lingering injury. Sure, it's probably not an issue, but he still has it nevertheless. Two, he has to go to a team mid-season, probably already had their bye week. He has to go to a team, try to be friends with everybody and then have a rapport with the quarterback, and then now be productive on the field.
Wow. That was an objective answer you just gave.
And
And,
OBJ is my
and let me tell you something. He's the biggest fan of
I
OBJ.
know. I know.
So this is tough. Hearing this, like,
I'm really
he's
shocked.
selling
I
OBJ.
was-
This is somebody that drafted him as his number one pick for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
number one.
Even last year, bro.
I'm shocked. I'm
Last year,
shocked. I
bro.
really am. I thought you were gonna go try to buy him
Nah,
from the
bro.
manager
I'm
who
not-
has him right
I'm not-
now.
I'm not unrealistic.
Okay.
But like to talk more about it for those
Except-
people that are out there that don't understand what buy the rumor and sell the news means. It refers to a stock term where certain stocks, right? There's a rumor of like a merger or an acquisition. So the stock will start trending up because people are like, oh, if these guys merge, it's gonna be big for the stock. So I'm gonna buy it. And then what happens is that the news is not as good when the news finally breaks. It's not as good as what the rumor was.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So buying the rumor is on OBJ is okay. What if OBJ goes to the Packers or the Cardinals
I
or
like
a
it, man.
high-powered offense, right? And then now he emerges as this playmaker that it's reminiscent of when he used to play with Eli. But then the news might be he goes to the Texans. you know, or he goes to another team that doesn't have a viable quarterback. So he's saying that he's going to sell the news because he thinks that one, OBJ might not be even having a team, or he might go to a bad team that has every right to claim off waivers first, right?
Yeah. So I'm not. I wouldn't buy OBJ.
Got some major breaking news directly into NFL Live. The man who brought us the story, Adam Schefter, joins us as we have been watching for nearly 1 week. Where would Odell Beckham Jr. end up? We are finally nearing an answer. And for more information, we bring in Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter, what more can you tell us about Odell Beckham Jr. and his decision on where he will next play football?
Field, Odell Beckham Jr. currently is finalizing a deal to go play with the Los Angeles Rams. They're in the final stages of getting that deal done, but the full expectation is that he's going to be a Los Angeles Ram.
Okay. So the next thing that we're going to talk about fantasy Bulls and Bears. Fantasy Bulls and Bears. So who are you bullish on? Explain to the people out there that might not understand what bullish and bearish means, and tell me why you're bullish and bearish on these players.
So just to do the terminology real quick. So when you're bullish on something, you think of a bull, the attack going up, so you think the stock is going to go up, or the player's value is going to go up.
Okay.
When you're bearish, to think of a bear, how they attack, the attack going down. So you think they're going to go down. You don't think that. You think that the best is behind them already.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So if you think there's more to them, you're bullish. If you think there's less to them, you're bearish.
Okay, good. That's a good explanation. So who are you bullish on right now? Give me one player that you're very bullish on.
James Conner.
You're bullish on James Conner?
I'm bullish on James Conner.
Is it because of the recent injury?
Not even the recent injury. It's literally because of how they've been phasing him in. Like, we also have to keep into consideration that James Conner, like, this is his first year on this team. Chase Edmonds is good, you know, he's good, but James Conner is just a bigger back, and it kind of just fits Arizona's play style, you know. So Chase Edmonds he's a nice piece, but if you're talking about like who I'm bullish on, I'm gonna have to say James Conner, because James Conner looked like he's getting more comfortable with the offense, right? They're running the ball and they're winning games with him running the ball and leading the lead in touchdowns.
Okay. How do you feel? Are you bullish or bearish on James Conner?
I gotta say that probably bearish on James Conner.
I agree with
I'm not. I think what happened when Chase was playing and James Conner was there was that you had like two different type of styles of runners.
Right.
So teams had to prepare for one. You can't just always like, you got the shifty, fast, quick, hard-hitting runner. Then you got James kind of coming, pounding it down. And he was also getting a lot of the goal line carries when Chase Edmonds was kind of driving it down throughout the entire way. So can James Conner do that for the entirety of like the Cardinals offense, is take every play and be a 3-down back, also get the goal lines without getting injured?
Right.
I think his issue beforehand was that he would wear down, right? When now with the committee backfield, they were able to pretty much say, hey, player, we just gonna put you in this particular space. We're not gonna have you do everything. We're gonna have you do a set skill, and then he did it well, right? But if he's gonna be asked to be doing more, I think it's gonna wear down on him. I don't think he can sustain it.
I personally am bearish on Conner as well. I don't think when players are very touchdown dependent for their points, it's a very dicey situation, especially in a high-powered offense. I don't think Chase Edmonds' injury is really going to affect James Conner, because they have the guy, I think, what's his name,
like Edmonton or something like that.
Yeah, they have another guy
talking about,
that's going to be a very hot waiver wire guy, whatever the case is. But Kyler Murray was playing like an MVP. And James Conner was stealing all of the meat. Is that going to be the situation going forward? I don't think so. I think Murray is going to get back to form, throwing touchdowns, and James Conner got a lot of meat at the goal line.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So if you don't leave any meat for him, he doesn't have the same cachet. He doesn't have the same like a little pop in your team. He's very touchdown dependent. The only thing that we have to watch is Chase Edmonds' injury. Are they going to give him the ball more to be more of a 3-down back? And if the answer is no, that they're going to use the backup to be the Chase Edmonds role, I don't think he can sustain having so much touchdowns, in this offense.
We said that about LeGarrette Blount all those years ago. But like, so the difference. So when I say I'm bullish on him, right? The what I mean by that is that there's still more of him to play. Like you mentioned him wearing down, right?
Yeah.
He didn't start the season as as the guy getting all the carries.
Mm-hmm.
He progressively got more carries.
Good point.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So being that he's progressively getting more carries is why I'm bullish on him.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's going to be touchdown every week,
Mm-hmm.
but he's going to get more carries.
Okay.
We're
gonna have to watch. We're gonna have to watch.
Not gonna pour your milk on that one.
Yeah.
So I do want to use the bullish and bearish terminology. What about we talk about another running back?
Okay.
Javonte Williams from the Denver Broncos. What do you think about him? You bullish or bearish on him?
I guess I'll go like sideways. Trading. I think he's trading sideways.
Explain the term.
What trading sideways means.
That doesn't understand.
So trading sideways is like, I don't see him going down, and if he goes down, not by much. And I don't see him going up, and if it's up, not by much.
Okay.
But he has a very steady. He's a very great flex player to me. Like, I don't see him as an RB2, but at the same time, I would consider him an RB3. But he's a very good.
He's a safe player.
He's a safe player,
he has a safe floor. Safe, like a little.
He has a very safe floor. I see him trading sideways. I think he's good. I think they got a little 1-2 situation going on. I don't really like Gordon too much. Better than him, but just for that Broncos team in general, I think he's just trading sideways.
Okay.
I'll say this. I think I'm a little bullish on him a little bit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think they brought him in for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they are easing him into the season.
Mm-hmm.
And as you see, for a rookie, for him to have such a high floor, they believe in him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think having a high floor to start your career in that type of offense, I think he can only trend up.
Yep.
Right. So I'm very bullish on him right now. I don't think Gordon is the future. I think that Gordon is there to kind of ease him into his own.
Yeah.
And I'm very bullish on the guy right now. What about you, Kat?
I agree. I won't get into too much, but I'm very bullish. Last game, he had about 17 carries for 111 yards, and I felt like that showed like who he is and what he can do with the limited amount of snaps that he gets. So I was very bullish on him. All right, let's keep it moving. Talking about these stocks, right? So is my man Logan Thomas, who's coming back from IR, is he a buy the dip player? And for those who don't understand, I need you to explain what buy the dip player means. Why did I use that terminology?
So when they say buy the dip, right, it's usually after, for whatever reason, a stock plummets or goes down. But we know that it probably went down maybe because of a technical or a rumor, but it's not something that's going to keep the stock down. So it's in a sense, you can get it at a discount price, So when you buy the dip, you're essentially buying something on sale.
You see, we don't only teach you about fantasy; we teach you about real life as well.
You do.
I'm just letting you know. Go
Yes,
back.
sir.
So, do you feel like Logan Thomas is that dude? Does he exemplify that?
Does he exemplify buy the dip? His stock didn't really drop down except from him being injured.
He was dropped in a lot of leagues when he was injured.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Seals-Jones has now, I guess, been in 100% of tight end snaps on the Washington football team.
Mm-hmm.
So he was dropped in a lot of leagues. He's only about 54% owned across Yahoo leagues at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So he may be picked up off of waivers. Is he someone that you should try to buy low for because he's that type of caliber player?
Yeah, if you could pick him up from the waiver wire, that's cool. But if you were to trade for him, I really wouldn't even know.
No,
just trade value.
Okay,
I'll pick him up from the waiver.
So that's the basic definition of buying the dip.
Yeah,
because if he's, like Kat said, available in 50% of the leagues,
it's a lot.
That shows you that a lot of people moved on from him.
Yep.
So if you could pick up a player on that caliber on the waiver wire right now,
Pick him up.
you got to pick him up
Yeah.
because he's at a discount.
Especially on the tight end position.
The tight end position is
Come
crucial
on.
because right now
Yeah.
I believe obviously he's not a TE1, but
Yeah.
he could be a TE2.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and somebody that might want to trade for him, they might trade off of the fact that they are not sure of the certainty of the injury or whatever the case is. And if he plays like how he played prior to the injury, you're getting him a big discount.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that answers that. I think everyone gave him their little insight. So the last question I'm going to ask is Patrick Mahomes still a blue chip stock? Yep. That's why I say
I like that
you
one.
heard-
I like
you
that.
heard-
I like
you
that
heard
one. That was.
right
I like the way you
after,
framed
right?
it. I like the way you framed it, Cat.
Patrick Mahomes,
Mahomes
blue
is
chip
a storyline
stock.
in fantasy now, right?
We gotta say the definition first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then talk to it because this is. I have something to say on this. Good.
So a blue chip stock is a stock with a I think with the market cap over like 500 million or something like that.
Let's not even get too
okay,
technical
boom.
about it.
A blue chip stock is one of the big boys.
Yes.
You think of like Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Google, Facebook.
The household names.
Household names, things that are here and not going anywhere.
They're not going nowhere. Yes.
You know, those are blue chip stocks, safe stocks. So now is Patrick Mahomes a blue chip stock?
Yeah. He hasn't been a
In fantasy, it's
QB1
tough.
in that tier
Mm-hmm.
since week 4. We're going to week 10 now. So it's been about a 6 week span that he's been below that particular tier, giving you duds and losing some weeks for some fantasy managers.
That's true.
Who
I think-
invested a high capital in him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like,
I'm not talking about just anybody. I got Mahomes.
It's our personal, Cat. It's our personal.
I invested a
Yeah,
high.
I'm sorry, bro.
So I want to know from you. Let's pretend I know football.
Let's pretend.
Are you pretending right now, though? I'm just asking. I'll call you by your name, bro. But we pretending you know football. Continue.
Let's pretend I know football.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do you consider Patrick Mahomes still a blue chip stock?
He's still a blue chip stock because, like, literally any given Sunday, he can still do what only he can do. You know, and that's what separates blue chip stock from just, you know, any other stock. Because you can't, you won't be able to find another consistent piece that could do what Patrick Mahomes can do. So just because he still has the ability any given Sunday to give you 40 points, 35 points, he's still a blue stick stock. He's just not performing right now. He's having a little he's like selling off, you know, but it's not something that I will be too worried about.
Okay.
You know?
I actually agree with him.
Do you?
Yeah. He's still gonna be. Is his value gonna plummet this year because he's not having the quote unquote Patrick run? No, he's still gonna be drafted second round next year. I'm telling
Not
you.
if he doesn't continue.
I think he will be because
depends on how
as
he
long
ends
as
the
he has
season.
Andy Reid, right, as his coach, right, as long as he has the weapons in Kelsey, Hill, as his playmakers, he's always going to be a blue chip stock.
Okay.
Because I feel like Patrick Mahomes right now is having a rough patch where the rest of the league, this happens all the time with high-powered offenses, the rest of the league eventually catches up, right? But even during his bad games, right, the definition of a blue chip is that no matter what, even when it's low, it's still better than everybody else.
Yeah, but that hasn't been the case for him.
Yeah, but he's still top 4 in the league.
That's from his first 4 games when he accumulated some large stat masses.
Okay, give me his last 3 numbers.
Let me ask you a quick question while you're looking that up. If you had Patrick Mahomes in his last 6 games, he was giving you dubs, would you trade him away?
Got to keep him in your portfolio, bro.
For who? You know,
so
like,
it depends.
who,
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Let's say someone says, "Hey, I'll give you Justin Herbert and Deontay Johnson and another throwaway running back on your squad.
Yeah.
And you give me Mahomes. Are you doing it?
Yeah.
You doing it? Oh,
never.
Patrick Mahomes and Deontay Johnson and another runner.
So
Patrick
Herbert,
Mahomes?
Deontay Johnson, and for Mahomes.
You wouldn't do it. You would not trade away Mahomes.
Okay.
I don't want. Let's not deceive the people.
Your philosophy is to keep the player that you think it has the highest ceiling, right?
Exactly.
And your philosophy is to take what you can to win week to week, right?
To Justin Herbert for the Clippers, right?
For the Chargers, you right?
For the Chargers,
yeah, for the Chargers,
Chargers,
you right,
the
yeah.
other LA team, yeah.
The Chargers, Deontay Johnson, and I'm trying to think of just like a kind of like a throwaway.
Nah, I wouldn't do that, man.
You wouldn't trade it because
I wouldn't
Mahomes
do
got
that,
the
bro.
ability to
I wouldn't do that, bro.
drop a 60 burger on you.
I wouldn't do that, man.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that, man.
All right,
not for Herbert.
So I'm gonna, as an owner, and I'm not trying to just throw it out there because I have him.
You have him, so would you do it?
Exactly. I would trade him if I got the right trade offer. Right,
Okay.
so I consider now. I've
Nah,
never
not for
wavered.
I just sent you some. Look in your DMs, bro.
I've never wavered away from like how I play. If a person is their trend is showing that they're not going to be that high ceiling, I'm not going to wait. I need to win on a week to week basis and know who's my consistent player. If I know, I brought up Justin Herbert. He's had a rough patch here and there as well, but he had a good game the last game. If I know he's consistent and he has a floor that I can count on, and I'm getting another player that I can add like a Deontay Johnson's caliber with like a throwaway running back that I can just keep in there and do whatever.
Patrick numbers.
Yeah,
man.
it's not that great, right?
It look nasty, bro.
So
And
if I know
Herbert got
that,
a nice schedule,
I'm making
man.
a move.
Yeah.
Herbert got a nice schedule going
And
forward,
Patrick
bro.
does not. If you look at his upcoming schedule, he does play against some tough defenses coming up, right?
Herbert got
so a lot of things factor in.
Minnesota,
But I think that answers.
Pittsburgh, Denver, Cincinnati, Giants.
He has a number of stuff. So we're gonna go ahead. I want to kind of keep this train moving.
Yeah,
Want to do some
yeah.
honorable mentions for some stock up players. We got for stock up players, Antonio Brown. Go get a look at him. I think he's gonna play dividends by the end of the year. Michael Carter from the Jets. I say you continue to look for those running backs. If you can get him low now, he seems to be a consistent running back. Dan Arnold from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
He's consistently being targeted the last 3 games, showing you that they're gonna work him in the offense and try their best to make him one of those tight ends that can get you some consistent numbers. You can play him on your waivers. Jalen Waddle as well.
I like Waddle.
Yeah,
I like Waddle.
Devontae Parker's been hurt. He's not going to take away some
Waddle.
time.
I like
think
Waddle.
Jalen Waddle is going to help some teams.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions for stock down players that I feel you should sell on. We're just going to mention them. Stephon Diggs. That's a big name.
Don't let Dave hear that.
I think you should sell on him. That's just my thought. CJ Uzuma. He's been playing well. He's had some big splash games, but he doesn't do too well. And I think people are going to get caught up on some of those splash games and start keeping him. But Joe Burrow hasn't looked like Joe Burrow in a couple of games. Okay. Darren Waller has not been consistent with the loss of John Gruden on his team. I don't know. You better watch out for him. Julio Jones, not too involved in the offense. Past 4 games, hasn't looked like Julio Jones of old. And Adam Thielen, he has a tough schedule ahead. I think you better sell. You better sell on Adam Thielen right now.
Hold on, son. Why you got all my players on this list, bro?
Who do you have?
You got CJ. You got Darren Waller.
You got CJ Uzoma?
Yeah.
And what? Oh, in a different league they were playing?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do it on purpose. I just did my research and I found some names that I thought were
Darren Waller too.
in the right direction.
Yeah, Waller too.
I don't
know what you're talking about with Waller, but
I believe, and I'm putting him on that stock low. You should be able to sell him. If I were you, I would go after a player that's giving you the same type of substance. Use his name and then build up what you need. If you can get a substance tight end to just play in your waivers like a Jared Cook or like a Dan Arnold, who's always going to get you 10 plus points, same thing Waller's giving you, and get a good running back piece to add on your team, I think you should do so. He still carries a name. People still want him on your team, but you're counting on production that you haven't seen the whole year. So I would just try, but he's a sell right now player. His stock to me is going down.
Did you guys hear that?
I heard that.
Yeah, that was a milk pour. So yeah,
I never spared that.
All right. So listen, we're here, right?
Oh dang, you're right.
Who for you?
Yeah.
Especially OJ, I want to get asked this question, right? This is a question that came to for a milkman. I pulled it. Want to make sure that you had the question. Do you believe in Cordero Patterson? for the rest of the season.
That's a spicy.
Yep.
Can you give some insight to why?
I do.
Come on.
Don't
just because they don't know. They need to know.
You are the best storyteller on the show. Why don't you tell them why? Because you know why I asked them that question.
So, Cadell Patterson got passed around a lot in this league.
No, he didn't get passed around. He got passed between two managers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he got passed. I don't know what y'all was doing on Cadell Patterson, but y'all was sharing him, I guess.
Yeah, we're sharing. That's my guy.
So what do you think? No, so I mean,
you want me to answer that?
Yeah, I want you to.
Yeah, that was.
Do you think?
The question was for you.
I think so. No, you good. Do you believe Cordell Patterson is a fantasy viable play for the rest of the season?
Absolutely.
Because
absolutely,
backstory is that you just traded him.
I know I traded him.
You got Keenan Allen for him, but you think Keenan Allen is going to be that player to keep, right? You got the name value out of Keenan Allen, and the story behind Cordell Patterson you traded away when he's actually a major centerpiece for the Atlanta Falcons. Some people may think he played two positions. He could have been a wide receiver or running back, but you traded him away.
He's a cheat code, and like.
Well, his numbers look cute.
Like, you gotta, like, once again, like, when it comes to, like,
2 hours later.
In particular, like, Cordell Patterson and me, when it comes to me, like, I had to get vetoed, like, 4 times before I was able to even, like, trade. And when I did trade him, I personally think I paid a hefty price for Keenan Allen. The league didn't want me to trade Cordell Patterson for his value. So I feel like I overpaid for Keenan Allen with Cordell Patterson. Like, Cordell Patterson is literally like the first person Matt Ryan looks at when he's about to throw the ball. Like, if you watch the games, like, he literally the first person that they look at. And he's a running back. Like, he comes off in the backfield. He probably gives, like, 4 rushes. But in a PPR, he's getting all the receiving yards. He's big, he's fast, and he got hands. Matt Ryan is going to always throw the ball because they're probably always going to be down. Cordell Patterson's coming out the backfield, so he already has space to work with. Cordell Patterson throughout the year, he's going to finish top 10.
He's already a top 10 player.
I believe he's going to finish top 10.
He's already a top 10 player. So you selling? What?
Selling? No. If somebody's going to sell you Cordell Patterson, buy him.
Okay, no, that was a question from the Milkman. I think that you answered it perfectly. Last question that I got for you is whether you think that Titans backfield is going to flourish with McMichaels and Peterson and Foreman. What do you think is going to come out of that backfield?
I think they're going to have to do like a 3-headed monster for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think anyone's going to be fantasy viable?
Not yet, because they literally just got AP off the block. You know, AP is just coming off the street. I don't think his body could probably take as many carries as he once could.
I feel like they got Foreman off the street, kind of, sort of. You know, he wasn't.
They got him as well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he played in the game, got some carries.
Not like much younger though.
Yeah. Oh, so you think it's the youth and the age?
Like the age is the issue.
With Adrian Peterson, come on, bro.
Who do you think is gonna be the cream of the crop? No one, or is it just gonna be a committee backfield?
Hopefully Adrian Peterson for obvious reasons, but like
obvious is that you picked them up. Go ahead.
I picked them up.
Well, hopefully Foreman, because I picked them up. So.
You got Foreman.
Yeah.
I would like to hear your thoughts on this.
That one is a toss up. That one I'll wait to see. I'll probably honestly you wait to this week. You know, based on how they used them this week, you probably know who is the guy next week.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And what's your take? Because you did pick up Foreman on your team.
I picked up Foreman because he's younger. He's also explosive. He has fresher legs. As far as when he was the last time he played a game. AP, one of my favorite running backs of all time. You know, but the guy is 85 years old at this point.
In football years.
No, seriously, like
in football years, he's like 40, bro. No, he's like 40 in real life.
He's older. You're right.
He's the first person in NFL history to run with a cane.
Oh wow!
You know what I'm saying? So I just don't know. And he defies all odds, and he's always
He usually does.
he runs violently.
Yep.
So if anybody's gonna do it, it's AP. But for
fits the
some
style.
reason, I think it's gonna be Foreman. I think they're gonna use McMichaels to be the type of player he was before, more of the catch out of the back. I don't think they're gonna lean on the running game as much. So I don't see any of the guys really being that much like fantasy viable going, because at this point you got to go with your playmakers.
Yep.
AJ Brown is there, Julio's there, so I don't see any of them being really fantasy viable. But if I had to put my money on anybody, it would be Deontay Foreman to be the lead back guy.
All right.
So
fellas, we got into it today. All right. We started with the league business.
League business.
Talked about some folks. Made sure that you got what you had to say on your chest. You feel good?
How you feel, bro? You got it off your chest?
Not everything, but I'm cool. I'm cool.
Young Bull.
No football. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We about to call it a close. Yo, we do what we do like we doing it for TV, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what they got to do, OJ?
They gotta like and subscribe.
Yes, sir.
And one thing, know how to play politics so that you don't get touched.
And we out of here. Peace.
Easy.
Yeah, that was a good one. Good job.
Always. Good show, bro. Good show, man.